Zambia Media, in association with STWF-TV, the Podcasting Network.
Introducing the best in the world! Ooh, yeah!
That's right. Best in the world. Hashtag BITW. We are in the building. We talking wrestling. And today with me, I've got Keith. What's going on, Keith?
How are you, man?
All good, man. You know, it's been a nice little week of wrestling. We had some good things happen, and some things we need to talk about from last week. So if you're out there, you want to chime in, send us a message. We'll get you in here. Shout out to my guy, Jake. See you out there, baby. So last week, we started off the show. We talked about Izzy, and we said her first match was coming up. And that was last Saturday. And so let's check in to see how that thing looked. We can get a little view from Izzy's Instagram page here. Let me get that pulled up. All right, so this is a little clip here from her Instagram page. She says she didn't win, but she proved that she can hang with the best. And it's just a little bit of the match here. You can see her with her Bailey kind of gear looking, and this look like a high school gym, right? So,
right.
But yeah, they're getting it in, man, and I'm proud of Izzy, man, and I'm proud of the way she's looking out here. So, shout out to Izzy. I can't wait to see more from Izzy. Huh?
Yeah, same here. I think I read she's 16 years old.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, on the one hand, I kind of hate it for her. She didn't win her first match, but I'd like to see them not push her too hard, too fast.
Yeah, with the bleeding face, baby face, whatever it is. It's right. They got to go through the struggles. So in that first match, that's part of the struggle, baby.
Right. Yeah, one person that comes to mind for me was when Paige first came on the scene.
Yeah.
And her first appearance was on Monday Night Raw, and by the end of the night, she was a new Divas champion.
Yeah. That's tough, well, especially with this character. I mean, if this is like the same hug everybody Bailey character,
right.
Them winning isn't going to make the crowd really endear to them. So I think this is a good way to go. Start off the match with a loss there for Izzy. So
right. Yeah, Paige was able to make it work.
Yeah,
but she had a lot more experience in the business by then too.
She did.
It was just the first we'd seen of her.
She did. Yeah, Izzy's a big super fan, so I mean she's got a name, so that's something though. She's been on the biggest platform of them all, on TV. So that's part of it. Now you just got to have the ring work to go along with it. We'll see what happens next with her. So, yes, sir.
Reports are positive so far.
Yeah, really. All right. One of our big topics for this week: favorite wrestling announcer. So you could think of this in so many different ways, man, because you've got the guys at the desk calling the action, and who hasn't been pretending to be a wrestling announcer before, right? I remember at like plenty of the WWE events, where you go in and you get signatures and everything from the wrestlers. There's a section where you can actually call a match, and they'll usually have a commentator on the desk with you, and you can call a match and scream your head off. Because that's what you do when you're a wrestling announcer. You scream your head off, right?
Right.
And so who are some of your favorite wrestling announcers here?
The first two that came to mind for me were, of course, good old JR.
Yeah.
And I grew up watching him on Mid South Wrestling,
Hmm.
Bill Watts promotion they did out of a boys' gym or boys' club gym in Louisiana as their TV studio for a while. And I think that was where Jim Ross got his start.
Hmm.
Another one I was watching then on, I believe it was TBS, was Gordon Soley.
Okay.
And on a Saturday afternoon shows, Ric Flair was involved in that. The whole four horseman thing was
Yeah.
on that show. A lot of Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA. Um, I think another one kind of along a different lines, but you got to include in the conversation Mean Gene Okerlund.
Yes. Yes. Mean Gene was legendary, man. I'm thinking of the backstage interviews with Ric Flair where he's like,
Right.
mean by God, Gene. So yeah, Mean Gene was pretty good. I also did like the camera angle of when he did the interviews on the stage,
Yeah.
and it showed the crowd and everything. I thought it was a nice little angle there, and not just
Yeah, that was cool.
backstage. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I still remember the video that he did with Hulk Hogan.
yeah,
Hogan was taking him through his training routine
okay.
and made this milkshake and took this protein powder and some raw eggs and didn't even crack them out of the shell, just threw the eggs in there and said, milk is for babies. We use water. And just grinded this thing up in the blender and took a big old chug of it and handed it to Mean Gene. Gene looked like he was going to lose his lunch.
Mean Gene was a character, bro.
He
I really
was.
appreciated him. Yeah. What about female announcers here? I'm thinking about crap, I can't think of Renee God dog it, I can't remember her last name now. Anyway, married to John Moxley, Renee.
Oh, right.
Like she
It's
was,
not Dupree.
yeah, I can't think of her last name at all.
Had you not asked, I could have too.
Right, exactly. It's something about hitting that live button or record button.
Right.
You get real dumb all of a sudden. So
Right.
shout out to Bree for coming through. Yeah, me G for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was good, and I enjoyed having her at the desk when she was announcing for Raw as well. It
Right.
really gave another perspective and everything. I know you don't watch AEW, but
Right.
Excalibur has been pretty good for AEW, and I've never seen anybody that can run down a card for a pay-per-view like Excalibur. Excalibur can get through it within 2 minutes.
Okay.
He's gonna read that card off, man. I'm telling you. One of the other announcers that are, I think, is kind of pivotal to wrestling in itself is the ring announcers, and we never think about them, but I like to use the clip from Greg Hamilton when he was announcing Shane McMahon after he won the Best in the World trophy.
Okay.
So I use his clip, the Best in the World,
Right.
for our intro, which is amazing. I love that, and I thought he was pretty good as a ring announcer, but he went like crazy during the COVID time, and that's why he lost his job and everything. But we had a video sent in from one of our contributors, Jonathan, and he's going to talk about some of the ring announcers that was in WWE and just instrumental in his wrestling enjoyment. So check this out.
We already know everybody's Mount Rushmore: Lillian Garcia, Howard Finkel, Tony Chimmel, I think his name was Chimmel. I butcher names, so if I say that wrong, don't kill me. But yeah, man, we already know these are the greats. You know what I'm saying? These Attitude Eras, Golden Era. You know what I'm saying? Ring announcers. But what about the recent ring announcers? I'm about to give you my 5. Started from 5, going to 1. Number 5, I'm gonna say Brandy Rose. I bet y'all ain't know that. Cody Rhodes' wife. She was an announcer for WWE. She announced on Superstars, main event. She even did an announcement at WrestleMania 31. She has a beautiful voice. She gave it like that fight night type of feel. You know what I'm saying? Like you about to go in the octagon or go in the boxing ring. Like she have that voice. You know, she's not doing it too much anymore, but you know, she was doing it in 2013. So next we got current WWE SmackDown ring announcer, Mike Rome. Speaking of fight night feels, he gives like, dude, when I tell you, dude make you feel like you really about to go into a main event session. Like, he make the Roman Reigns tribal chief thing sound good. Like, he got SmackDown twerking, man. When I say I don't know what he do, but it's just, he have that voice that projects, like grabbing your attention. You know, and the crazy part is he's the only male announcer out of the big three. The only male announcer. And that was Mike Rome. She's number 3. I gotta give it to my girl, Alicia Taylor. Ooh, she make NXT feel like home. She make it feel just like home. It doesn't feel like a small promotion anymore. No, it doesn't. I mean, because that's technically what it's supposed to be, a small promotion. But it feels like it's up there with Raw and SmackDown. Hell, sometimes I feel like it's better than Raw sometimes. And the announcers do make these shows. They do. Because you could not be paying attention to the match and not even know what's going on. But as soon as you hear the voice, like, oh Lord, that's him. That's Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. My number 2 pick. I loved her voice. Don't get me wrong. I love number 1 voice, but number 2 voice, I loved her voice too, and I just love like her character behind it. We talking about JoJo, Mrs. Bray Wyatt. You know, she took a little break because she had a baby with Bray Wyatt, but she was killing things. She was killing things on Raw. Yeah. Speaking of Raw, that's my number 1. You know, that's my number 1. We gonna keep it all the way real. See, Ricochet, fiance, Samantha Irvin, just dudes, baby. She give each and every single one of these wrestlers, man, their own characteristic announcement. The way she say, Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green sent chills up my spine, man. She sound like she should be singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl or something. Like, that's just how cold she is. Give her just due, because I have not heard her voice sound the same for no other wrestler. Like, none. If you can find it, I'll give you $5. Her voice is different for each one of them. If you ain't paying attention, pay attention to Samantha Irvin, man. Y'all got my just dues. Y'all appreciate it, and thank y'all for doing what y'all do, ring announcers.
Yes, sir. Shout out my guy Jonathan. That was exactly what I was thinking when we started talking about ring announcers. Samantha Irvin. I've been popping really hard for Samantha Irvin because Yeah, these entrances, like he said, the one for Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you, man, she has me rolling, bro. She has me rolling. But she has been like a breath of fresh air when I started realizing all of her different entrances for different people. Chelsea Green, um,
Right.
so age. Um, Somebody brought up Lillian Garcia
Right.
also as another ring announcer. She was really good. The singing aspect as well too. And I
Yeah, Hall
always
of
like
Famer right
people.
there.
Yeah, I always like people who got good a good character, and so she did like a wrestling podcast and everything like that, and talking to the fans. Look, I love it when they do stuff like that. So,
Right.
um, I did have another clip from Samantha Irvin, which was pretty cool. This is
Okay.
also, it's just, man, when you get out there and you talk with the fans a little bit, or just put little funny things out there, like
Yeah.
you get points for that from me, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
And so this is something from Samantha Irvin YouTube short here.
About my warm-up routine and what I like to do to keep my voice strong and healthy. So here are some of my favorite exercises that you guys can do anytime.
Arian Cross considered his credit score. Arian Cross considered his credit score. How much wood could Xavier Woods chop wood?
She seemed like a good
Yeah.
follow, man.
Rented a
Uh-huh.
voice. Rey Mysterio rented a Rolls Royce. And ooh, and ooh, and still, and still. Seth Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins is champ. Seth freaking Rollins is world champion.
That's
pretty
great.
good, man. Like I pop hard for different things like that. If you're posting that stuff, when you're with the WWE, look, I love it.
Yeah, I thought it was entertaining when she had to announce Logan Paul as a winner against her
Right.
fiance Ricochet,
Yes.
um, especially with him trash talking her before the match, telling her he was going to make her do it.
Yes.
Uh, yeah,
Yes.
she remained a professional and did a good job handling that the way she did.
Exactly. That was really good. Hey, the Fink is always a legend there. So
Yeah.
as well too. So
Oh yeah.
but my favorite play-by-play announcer right now has to be Ty Hannafin from Impact. Used to be
Okay.
SmackDown wrestling announcer. I always love his energy, and I
Yeah.
just love the professionalism of his voice. So yeah, that's my favorite guy there.
Okay. Now, one that I really enjoyed, who's doing it kind of part time, and I hope he ends up coming back, was Pat McAfee.
Oh yeah. Pat
Yes.
McAfee's
Yeah, a
funny.
lot of fun watching him.
Yeah, he was
And
funny.
of course, there's always got to put Michael Cole in conversation.
Yeah.
And I think his career's kind of starting to wind down, if
Yeah,
reports are to be believed anyway.
I think he's trying to pass the torch, and I think they're
Yeah.
really trying to groom guys and everything. But you're seeing Michael Cole on both shows now, and
Right.
I mean, hey, that just goes to show you, like, networks really know this voice, and they think it's really important to have him on both shows. So,
Right.
yeah, let's get to the next topic, and this is Chad Gable's push. This comes from what we saw on Raw, where Gable got Maxine into the fold with the group with
Right.
Otis and everything. I thought it looked like they were trying to push Chad Gable out of the group and push Otis into the male models group, right? That's why I
Right.
thought it was going. But now she has totally been adopted by the Alpha Academy. She's wearing their gear. She's supposed to be getting trained by Gable and everything now. I like what this is doing, and then now he's getting the push to where he's going after Gunther and everything with the IC championship. Do you think he has a shot to win the title here?
Man, I don't know. They've done so much gimmicky work with Chad Gable for so long.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to give him any credibility. He's had some great moves, especially as of late, against some big guys, which give him a little believability. But yeah, I think this is going to be a tough, steep hill to climb after being almost a joke act for so long.
Mm. Yeah. So you're talking about like the Shorty G?
Yeah.
I feel you. Yeah. Yeah. That was a really bad persona or gimmick they gave him. But I think he's pushed past that with this the resurgence of the academy and Shoosh took off. My gosh, Shoosh got real big.
Yeah, and that's just another aspect of his character that I consider more of the joke act part of it.
True.
And it's heat, but it's cheap heat.
Yeah. But in any kind of response, it's a good response.
Well,
so.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that the guy has excellent ring work. I mean, he is actually like the trainer on the road. Like,
oh yeah, no doubt.
The whole Alpha Academy thing came about because Vince was like, "Hey, look, help Otis out with his ring work, please." And he did, and Otis got his little push and everything. But I think it's really good to see Chad Gable actually getting his time to shine now. I'm curious to see how far they're gonna let it go. If they're actually gonna pass the title from Gunther to him and let him be a transitional champion, I think that's a good idea. Because he's a babyface now, and so you push it as a transitional champion and then have him lose that championship pretty quickly. I think he can get a lot of sympathy from the crowd, and Maxine has pushed him up pretty good too as a whole. So
well, that's no doubt. I feel like Otis may be inadvertently kind of holding that group back a little bit.
Yeah.
Not that I love Otis. He's great for the in-ring work he's able to do.
His character hasn't changed at all.
Right. Yeah, not a bit.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the idea you brought up as far as Gable's transitional champion. Mm-hmm. Who would you see him losing that belt to?
Oh, so that's a good one. I'm thinking maybe one of the big superstars. So I'm thinking like Omos, the big dude from NXT. It's got to be a big guy like that since Gable's a smaller guy, and that gives him more sympathy too when a big guy beats him. So and it's going to give him the big guy more heat. And I mean, a guy like Omos could use some actual heat instead of just being a guy that just shows up to have a match and then goes away for a while. You know what I mean?
And if Gable does that as transitional champion, I think that'll kind of cement his place as a mid-carder.
Right.
But doing this puts him kind of in the upper mid-card status anyway.
Yeah. I mean, one thing you have to say about Gunther, I mean, he's really elevated that IC championship, and it's been important. So, yeah. All right, let's go to the next topic here. And this will be our final topic of the show, and that's Jey Uso. Is Jey Uso leaving WWE? I kind of think this is just kayfabe or whatever, but hey,
y'all might as well start calling me.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm so sorry. Technical difficulty. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think this will be a good opportunity to bring back some of the times like they did with ECW back in the day. I saw a clip recently where Paul Heyman called into a WWE show probably one of those ones where they're trying to sell a pay-per-view, whatever. But Vince is there,
Yeah.
and Paul is talking. He kills with a fake name, and they figure out, oh, this is Paul from Philadelphia, and talking about ECW and all this stuff. And I think that would be a great way to just loan Jay out, and he doesn't have to have like a major match or anything, but just show up and just feed the line of him leaving WWE. And I think Jonathan has some good ideas about some booking ideas, and let me go ahead and play his clip real quick.
Okay.
Because y'all might as well start calling me Smoke the Fortune Teller, because I said this. It might have be the same exact way I said it, but I said it. Jey Uso is now all alone. This is the perfect time for WWE to let him go down to the MLW. Be with Jacob Fontu, the longest reigning MLW world champion. Go recruit his cousin. I forgot what the other, I think it's Sika Jr. He's in MLW too. That's two right there. He could go ahead and fight against and prove his work in MLW, and then bring them up to WWE. Matter of fact, before you even go back to WWE, you better make sure you go across them waters to New Japan Wrestling. Go to New Japan Wrestling and pick up Taka. Go pick up your cousin Taka. I already know. Hell, if you gotta go to the Isle some more and pick up Roman Reigns' daddy, who's still wrestling for their promotion to this day, to their family promotion to this day, go do it. Go let him show his work. Show that he does have what it takes to be the tribal chief. Show that he does have what it takes for them to respect him, for him to be a leader, for them to follow him. Let him do that. Or at least make like a cinematic universe like y'all did with the Undertaker's last ride in a little WrestleMania match he had with AJ Styles. Or even the fight at the Hardy compound with Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt. They had a fight against Cesaro and Sheamus, I think it was. Yeah, bring him now. But make it a somatic type of event. Like you already got these dudes signed. Make it like a little movie. Him go proving himself, him stepping up, him doing their traditions. If they got a sumo wrestle or whatever it is over there, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but whatever he got to do over there, go do it. Matter of fact, we let him go to his daddy first. Daddy, man, I'm done. I don't know what to do. Let his father, Rikishi, Hall of Famer Rikishi, give him that fighting spirit. Tell him he's proud of his son. WWE, you can do a lot right now. People are on y'all coattails about dragging on this bloodline stuff, but you can make it more entertaining. Listen to your fans. Tell me, I know y'all gonna be interested in something like that. It's gonna have y'all on y'all heels. I don't care what Vince Russo say. I don't care what nobody else say. This the bloodline story stale? No, it ain't. Shoot, there's a lot of things that's stale in the WWE, and I can be honest with you with that. There's a lot of things that's stale, but the bloodline story is not stale, brother.
There we go, man. My guy Jonathan.
Yeah.
Back in the building here. So what'd you think there about your thoughts here about Jey Uso?
Yeah, man. Well, kind of fantasy booking that I've heard a rumor of is Jey against Jimmy for next WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of things are pointing to that. As far as I'm out the bloodline, I'm out of SmackDown, I'm out of the WWE. Now, they're giving him some much deserved time off is all they're doing.
Yeah.
You'll hear these little rumors of, his contract's up and he's going to pop up over on AEW next. No, he's not. He knows he can write his check for however much he wants to stay where he's at.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But it was funny, all of the different memes you saw pop up. You know,
Yeah,
Jay Fatu is all
right.
elite. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
and your buddy mentioning all these other different wrestlers that could be brought in as possible segments of the Bloodline storyline, the Bloodline family. I know not long after the last big match, Paul Heyman said, "Y'all be patient. You're just clamoring for an ending to this storyline or wrap itself up. Come on, people, we're in the third inning."
yeah, that's right.
and
That's right.
and this thing with Jay, I'm out, I'm gone, walking through the crowd. Yeah, that was probably a good lead off triple top of the fourth.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, there's a lot of other family members out there could still be figured in along the lines, and yeah, I think we're at least a year from seeing this whole Bloodline storyline wrap up.
yeah. I
And
agree
as
with
long as they
that.
keep injecting fresh things into it, come on with it.
Yep. I would love to see Jey Uso go over to Impact and just have some kind of run in where he makes Trinity lose her championship
Right.
because she's married to Jimmy. Like that. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be a great crossover. That'd be funny.
Yes. Yes. I know Impact will love it. So
Yeah,
Triple H, let's do it.
there you go.
um, but yeah, the Bloodline story is nowhere near over.
I'm not.
I didn't catch SmackDown yet. I'm probably gonna watch this after this this podcast. Yeah, I was busy editing this morning, so couldn't really watch it.
Yeah, I just kind of had it on in the background last night.
Mhm.
I think that show went without anything Bloodline related last night.
Okay,
I
okay,
must have completely
that's probably for
overlooked
the
it.
best because
Yeah, I mean,
my first thoughts was just okay, have Solo out there, and you can maybe have Paul Heyman at the end, just talk, and
yeah,
maybe preview next week or whatever, or the next time they come, and then that'll be it. So
yeah. Now I say that there may have been some other recap segments having to do with the Bloodline,
oh, it's
and
gonna be
if there
video.
were, uh, yeah, yeah, and those anymore, I do kind of mentally tune out when they come on because I've
Right.
seen them played so many times, and
Yes.
that's not commenting on a stale storyline. That's just
If it is what it is.
I'm not going to give my attention to this for the fourth time in the past 2 days.
Right, exactly. We've seen it already, but it's good for people who have not watched, who don't watch religiously, and they come
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
they can get right up to speed with that clip. So I get why
Well,
they
that's a
do
great
that.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, big segment last night was Edge,
Hmm.
and I think last night's match was last match on his contract anyway.
Right.
Beth and kids were there. His match was Sheamus, and there's talk now about maybe that was his last match, even though I haven't made it official yet. Like being up in Toronto and all decked out in make believe gear.
Right. Yeah.
Seemed like a good kind of low key retirement match for him.
He's been teasing
Doing it on
like
his own terms. Yeah.
he's been teasing retirement for a while now, and so hey, maybe it's coming, but I think it's going to end up being something on a big platform like uh, at least Survivor Series, at least.
Yeah, you
Right.
think so. He deserves a WrestleMania send off. That's what he deserves.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, the shape that he's in, he can
Yeah.
go and do like a Brock Lesnar kind of thing and just come back once
Yeah.
or twice a year, Undertaker kind of thing. Come back once or twice a year, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. And he's in a position where he can basically shape a future contract, part time or whatever, to do exactly as much or as little as he wants to do.
Yep, and he
And they'll
deserves
let him
that.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
he deserves that. He's been around forever, man, and the guy still looks good. Like I'm not noticing any drop off. So
No, not at all. Yeah, saw the best shape of his career.
right, and that's always a bad thing about wrestlers coming to the end. Like Ric Flair's last match. Like goodness, man.
Yeah,
Like
man.
you shouldn't be out there. Like
No.
I gotta keep suspending disbelief like so much. Need
Yeah.
stop.
And it gets past the point of is Rick going to win this match? What's going to happen? And to the point of thinking, is Rick going to live? Is he going to survive? We're going to see him carted out on a gurney after this thing, and funeral arrangements be announced the next day.
Yeah.
From what I joke about that a little bit, just kind of tongue in cheek. But I've heard that he passed out during that match twice.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah.
And so him surviving that match, I think, was legitimate concern.
Yes.
And I really, really hope he's really done.
Mm-hmm. So Jake sent in a question saying, is Jay's contract up? And I believe it is up, but there's always a handshake agreement in place, I think, with the and WWE. So I don't believe he's going anywhere. So
yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, he's another one. They're going to do whatever it takes to keep him.
Yeah,
he's too big a part of their number one storyline.
Yep.
For the past and coming year. So,
yeah. Really, and they've really built him up. Like, honestly, if you really think about it, Bloodline story has been about Jey Uso and his evolution.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah,
I still don't know if that makes him a believable tribal chief, but
that's another thing, though. I don't agree with that. Like, like it actually makes him like the actual tribal chief. So, yeah, I wouldn't go there either. So,
yeah.
But I would love to see where him and Jimmy goes from here, the struggle between them two,
definitely.
And see where this brings us and how long this lasts us, and just what pay-per-view this will like end on, I guess, right?
Right.
So yeah, but bottom of the third, last thing Paul Heyman said. So we'll see about that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. Look, I appreciate you joining us today, Keith, man.
Sure.
And appreciate everybody sending in their comments and their questions, and appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And we will be back, of course, to talk more wrestling. Holla at us on YouTube. Give us some likes, share us, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell everybody. How about that?
There you go.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this thing up. And as normal, if I could ever get to this little part here, as normal, we're going to let Kenny take us out. If I could ever find the thing. It happens when you got a whole bunch of different drops and stuff on this thing, as I do. So yeah, we're going to be out here. Kenny, take us home.
Must be Juju. Goodbye. Mwah. Good night. Bang! Yes!
Remember to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at BSNB Media. Also, smash the like button on YouTube and share with friends.